Bye, Gary. See you next month.
Yeah.
On my name. I know.
Let's say all the students want to go for it because it brings them in and when they log into the system so and then you might see an impact FTEs students.
Do you have enough power? Okay. Bonnie, we need to get the other group inside. I haven't turned your mic on yet, so you could go ahead and get ready. Be careful, there's loose cables here. All right?
Tight squeeze. So I'm going to use this mic.
You're going to use this mic, and
Okay.
there's a switch right here to turn it on.
Okay.
Then you go check the back,
Okay.
and as soon as you're ready, you just flip this on.
Okay, so when I'm doing the video sound, is that just
Oh, you
going to
need
be
sound here?
Yes. So I'm playing a lot of videos, so I'll go from me talking to the video playing. Yeah, it should be right there. And what should my laptop sound be turned up to?
Let's
Should
try
I-
it.
Okay. So I'm muted right now, but I'm at pretty high level. Do you want me to just play one of them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Why isn't that?
It doesn't sound very good.
No, I haven't started it yet. There's. Why can't I see the whole screen here?
I didn't turn it off because I didn't know.
It doesn't matter. That's your guys's.
Oh, sorry.
Can we bring this back to the width of the? Because I can't see my whole screen. I guess I could scroll a lot, but can you see the whole screen up there?
Yep.
But see how it's? I have to go down there.
It's only going to show what's on your.
It's only going to show what's on here. Can we get this back to my full screen? Because everything's kind of set up to play on my.
That's what it's going to show in the. That's what it's going to show.
Okay.
It's 4:3.
So we should make it a little smaller then. Like that, maybe?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we'll just do a little snippet. I didn't hear that out there. Whoops. What just happened?
Let's just play a test music.
So not a video? I'm gonna have to get this. Oh goodness, this is really hard to manipulate on here. Okay, so what do you want me to do? To just play
Test music.
just like a sample video from CNN or
Just
something?
music
Or
from your like.
I don't think I have any music on
Kalimba.
here. What's that? I don't know what kalimba is.
Kalimba is the Microsoft test music.
Okay, how do I access that?
When you open up your screen,
Okay.
it should just say music.
So would you just play something from in here?
Yeah.
Okay. There's nothing pre-installed. There's radio. I don't think there's anything in here to.
Wow, that's too bad. All right. Then just go ahead and play your video again.
Okay.
We'll test it. And just anything that just has some sound on it.
Okay. Oh, actually, maybe I should do. No, I don't know how to get that out of there. I can't see. I wonder if I can I put this up here, do you think, to see better? Okay. No, maybe not. Okay, so, no, I don't know how to close that now. I don't know what that is. I can't get off of that. Can we take it off of the screen there? Okay, so. All right, so just play a little bit of the video?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just make a copy of it. Okay. Okay, that's playing.
Is there sound to it?
I don't hear it in here.
That's your headphones right there, right?
Oh, something just came up. What device did you just plug in? All right, which one of those?
Should be headphones.
Okay, headphone.
Thing to consider. How does modernism fit with realism, the major movement?
That got everybody's attention. Okay, on the computer or okay. Is that good? Okay. I think so. Volume's good? Okay. Ta-da! Well, this is the hazard of using a technology-heavy presentation here. It's going to be an adventure. Hopefully it'll all work. So, welcome to Thinking Outside the Text Box. Oops, sorry. Mike, see. Okay. Hello? Yes? Yes? Okay. That's as far as I dare. No? If I rip this out, you will never forgive me.
Thank you. Keep going. You can step on. You're actually better here because it's really dark back here.
Yeah. Okay. And this is my slide advancer?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. All right. Oops. Okay. Should we try again? Okay. That's part of the adventure with online learning, right? Is you never quite know how things are going to go. So it's nice to see we have a full house here. I will do my best to entertain you. So my name is Tracy Schaelen. I teach at Southwestern College, which is here in San Diego County. And I've been teaching there for around 20 years, and 10 of those have been online. So I've been doing lots of online teaching in my career, but most of it has actually been with text. It wasn't until recently that I discovered the power of video. And it transformed my way of thinking about online education so much that here I am. So what I'd like to do today is show you some different ways that I've used video in my classes and also show you how I made some of those videos. So that'll be a very brief kind of introduction to how to do it, but hopefully enough for you to get started and maybe experiment with some of your own. So I have a question for you. How many of you have used videos in your online classes? Excellent. Okay, how many do it all the time? All right, once or twice? All right, how about the nevers? Okay. I was with you a year ago. So this is a recent journey for me too. My videos are not polished. They're not, they don't look professionally produced, although I'm getting a little closer with each one that I do. But video for me has been a really good way for me to connect with my online students in a way that text just couldn't do. So part of what I want to do in the beginning today is talk about why I think it's important to use video. Then I want to show you some of my videos, discuss how my students have responded, and talk a little bit about how I've made them. So we better get moving. So, my adventures in video. How I got started with this was through taking courses throughout one. So from a student perspective, I noticed that the classes that used video, where the instructor was actually speaking to the students, really had an impact on me. In fact, I noticed the ones that used video regularly, even though I knew it was a video that was created and I was watching it, it started to feel like a conversation. I felt like I knew my instructor. I felt like she was talking to me. And even though I knew that it was a video that everybody else was seeing at different times, it started to build this sense of community. So it was a really powerful experience for me. In fact, after I finished taking those courses, I found that the ones that use video regularly were the ones that stayed with me. Those are the people I remember. Those are the classes I remember. And so I knew that I had to do something like that for my students too. So I've always been really involved with my students and try to connect with them regularly, but I just couldn't do it as well before without video. Okay, so that's a little bit about why I make videos, but I wanted to share with you some information that I have discovered along the way. So I'm sure you've all, oh, we're flashing. Better not step on those wires. Is it? Okay, hopefully it will stay on. So I'm sure that you're all familiar with the research about some of the hazards of online learning for students. It can make them feel isolated. It can make them feel distant. It can lead to dropping out of a course. And so these are things that I'm aware of as well, and I've been working on addressing those in a text form, but I found that video really helps my students get a sense of community early in the course. So what I have found is by using videos that I make for my students regularly, my students are more likely to contact me if they have a question. They're more likely to do that in a calm way. So they're not flustered, they're not frustrated, they're not desperate. And I don't know about you, but it's really nice to get an email from a student who is not desperate, right? So when they get too worried or too worked up, they can't work through the solutions because they're too flustered. But I found that by using video, there's a level of comfort from the very beginning of the class. They feel comfortable with me. They feel comfortable that I'm going to guide them through and that they can do it. And so then we can be much more constructive in our conversations. So that's one big bonus that I found. In fact, I very rarely get those panicked emails anymore. So that alone makes it worth it for me. I should say that I teach writing and literature courses. And so I spend a lot of time working with my students. I spend my evenings and my weekends grading papers. And I'm sure some of you are thinking, why are you making videos then? Don't you want to have any life at all? But for me, it has a really big payoff, and it's not just for the students, it's for me too. So I'm not getting those energy-draining crisis emails, which helps me be a better instructor. And also I'm finding that students are working with each other more because I'm encouraging them to use video with each other as well. So it lets me be more of a facilitator, not the sole lifeline for each student in the class. So I'm finding all sorts of benefits to using video, but I want to share with you the student benefits as well. So I'm going to bring in a couple of quotes from my students from last semester. Here's one. That's very bright. This student said, when the students in an online course get to actually see and interact with the instructor, the learning environment becomes more supportive and the instructor becomes more approachable. So this reinforces that idea that the students feel like they know me because I've made videos for them, because they've seen me talk to them. They feel like we've had a conversation and they're willing to continue that conversation and to ask questions, and they just feel like I am there to help them. And so that really creates a nice environment for the whole semester. One more. This is also from last semester. Video feels like you are interacting with the teacher rather than seeing a bunch of text. Sometimes it is very hard to interpret plain text. Her facial expressions tell me more than text would ever tell me. This was a really important takeaway for me, something I hadn't really realized before, but I hear this often. I ask my students throughout the semester how things are going, what they like, what they don't like, and I always ask them, how do you like the use of instructor video? And I've seen this comment often, the idea that text is an isolating experience for the students, and video gives them more of a community experience with the content that I'm providing, with the discussion of that content amongst the students. So it just adds this extra layer where they can see my enthusiasm, they can see what I'm emphasizing, and so that helps them interpret what they're learning in a way that just plain text can't do. So speaking of what plain text can't do, here I'm giving you 2 quotes in text. I'm not modeling very well, am I? So I'm going to bring 2 students in here with us. And both of these are just little video clips. The quality is not the best because they are taken from VoiceThread, which is a tool that I like to use to have students work with each other. Some of you are nodding. VoiceThread is a tool that lets students have discussions using one of 3 methods: text, audio, or video. And so they can talk with each other, and I join in the conversations as well in the VoiceThread space. So I've taken 2 of those clips to share with you, and the topic here was what they liked about the class and advice they had for future students.
I loved it. It's so much fun to get to record your voice, hear everybody else. You get to hear the tone in people's voice, you get to see them. I think when we're reading a lot of other people's comments and discussions and threads and whatnot, it just gets to be a lot of reading, especially with the reading that we're already assigned. I think when we get to hear people or see people, it reactivates our brain to keep going, keep thinking about what's happening.
It's a great way to really keep things fresh. It makes this class feel less like an online class, if you know what I'm saying. Because you get to distinguish the faces and you get to hear people's voices. So it's almost akin to being in a real classroom situation.
So you can see why I'm so enthusiastic about using video. Listen to how these students are really thinking about their learning process. And this is what I hear from them often. So I want to show you a couple of different ways that I use video. Some of these are probably ones you've used, but I'm hoping that you find a few uses here you hadn't thought of before. And I'm going to be switching back and forth so I can show you some of the videos. All of the videos that I'm showing here are shown through my LMS, my learning management system, which in my case is Blackboard. And some of them I'll actually show you embedded in a course so you can see where it is and what it looks like. But all of them are also housed on YouTube. And usually all of my videos are for students to see only and only through the LMS, so they're not available if you were just to go to my YouTube page. But I have made the ones from today available to the public so that you can go there later. We'll watch snippets today. You can go back and watch the whole thing if you want to. So if you go to my YouTube page now, you'll see a whole collection of videos, the ones that we're watching today. Okay, so first use is on my instructor website. And this is an idea that I got from Michelle Pacansky-Brock, who is right next door. So what I have done here is just put together some suggestions, some information for current students and for future students. Things like what to do the first week, what to do if you're on the wait list, copies of my syllabi, and things like that. So I started with this video because I want students to get to meet me before the class even starts. This was actually the first video I ever made. So let me take you out to the website and I'll just show you a little bit of that one.
Hi, I'm Tracy Schaelen, and I teach writing and literature at Southwestern College. I've designed this website to help my students get more familiar with online learning and with my courses. If you are here to learn more about my approach to teaching and specific classes, you can use the menu on the left to have a look around. Many visitors here will be new to online learning, and so I've created a special section for you to help you get off to a good start. It is called, Is Online Learning Right for You? You'll find some very helpful links here, so be sure to check them out.
Okay, I'll stop it there. But basically what I do is just kind of walk my students or future students through what is available to them on the website. And then there's one other spot I wanted to show you where I also embedded a video. This is for a class that had traditionally been taught on campus, and I was bringing it online for the first time, so I wanted to build some excitement and some interest in it. And so I'm going to click over to there. This is for the World Literature Series. And does anyone use Animoto? So this is an Animoto video, which is ridiculously easy to put together. So it's going to look really nice and polished with a nice soundtrack, and I didn't do any of that. So if you haven't checked out Animoto yet, be sure to do that. You put in your content, which can be images, as you'll see here. It can be text, and Animoto gives it a nice polished video. So if you're brand new to making videos, this might be a fun starting place. How do you spell that? Animoto. And by the way, they have a free educator account. So you don't need to pay for it. If you're an educator, you can use it for free. And I believe it's a 6-month account, and it's renewable after that. Okay, so let me put this full screen. Okay, are you ready? It's very peppy music. If you want to get up and dance, feel free. And those of you watching the webcast will never even know. And there's Animoto. So this was a lot of fun to put together, and as you saw at the end, most of it was art slides that came with my textbook. So this is a great way to build some energy for your class and to make your students excited about the course. And there's a lot you can do with these as well. You can even include little video clips of yourself talking to your students and put it within the Animoto. It has to be very small, like 5 seconds. But that's a fun way to bring yourself into the video as well. So that's my next step. Okay, so one of my favorite uses of video has been the course tour. So what I do for each one of my classes, whether it's online or hybrid, is I create a little course tour for them that walks them around the space. Because I found that at the beginning of the semester, that's one of the things that panics students the most, is this unfamiliar environment and things that have to be done, but they're not quite sure how to do them. And if a student is taking 3 or 4 online classes that are set up differently, it can be really challenging. So I found that creating this course tour to walk them through the class really helps people to see where they need to go and feel that they can do it and to not panic. And so this is one of the longest videos that I have. This one is about 5 minutes long. Most of my videos are about 2 minutes, so I don't want them to get bored. But this one is designed for them to go back and look at again and again, because I also walk them through the steps of processes that I want them to do. Like you'll see in this video, how to put a picture of themselves into our LMS, or how to subscribe to a discussion board. And these are things that I would tell students how to do in text before, and maybe 20% would do it, maybe less. And now I have about 70, 80% doing it, because I've shown them how to do it as a student. I go into student mode and I walk them through it so it looks exactly like what they see. They can pause the video, do a step. Watch the next step, do it themselves. And so it seems to be a really good way to get things done to set them up for success for the semester. And in the first week, the more you can do to help them set themselves up for success, the more likely it is that they will succeed. So let me show you just a little bit of this one. As you can see, I like to start with something fun. So yes, there I am in the Library of Congress. Never actually been there before. Did that with a green screen. But then you can see I'm also doing some screencasting where I'm showing them things and pointing things out to them. All right, so let me show you just a little bit of this one. Okay, so this is my world literature class, and one of the first announcements in the class tells them about the tour and actually shows them where to find it. So I've highlighted this box, told them this is where you go to catch the course tour. So if we are being the student here, we go to weekly materials. We look in the first week. And up here at the top is the grand tour. And I've just embedded this right into Blackboard, so I'm going to click on this in a minute, and it'll play right there in Blackboard. So they don't have to go anywhere else to see the video. They're just going through the folder, and there it is. So I found that dramatically increases the chance that they will watch it.
Hi there, are you here for the tour? We're just about to get started. I'm Tracy Schaelen, and I'll be your tour guide. As we take a look around your new classroom, be sure to stay with the group, and please don't touch the statues. But before we walk through the course menu, I noticed that most of you don't have faces. Do you see how the small image of me appears next to my name? This will also appear in our discussions. If you're feeling a little gray, here's what to do. Click on your name. Click on Settings, and then Personal Information. Then click Personalize My Settings and upload an image from your computer. You'll be feeling more colorful in no time. By the way, this global navigation menu is pretty nifty. You can easily access your courses, see a snapshot of your Blackboard life as it stands, and use Blackboard's newly revised calendar. Anything within Blackboard that has a due date is automatically added here, and you can add your own personal information as well. I also hear that it is exportable to other calendar programs.
Okay, so let me pause there for just a minute. So some of those areas of Blackboard are completely new territory for students. They've never looked up there before. They have no idea what's there because there hasn't been anyone to tell them. It's just them in the course when they enter it. So that's why I made this video a little longer, just to show them where things are. But you can see that multi-step process to get your picture in there. It's not especially user-friendly, but if they see me doing it, then it becomes a lot easier for them to do. And I wanted to show you one more thing with this too. Because I'm doing a lot of pointing around in the screen here, if the student wants to watch this full screen in YouTube, you'll see that that's possible. Right down here, they can just click on Watch on YouTube, and they can get the full thing.
Okay, gang, it's time to get moving.
Watch one more minute.
The first stop on our tour is the info desk, also known as the syllabus and info area of the course. Here you will find your syllabus, book information, and what to do when you start screaming at your computer. It isn't your computer's fault, it's Blackboard's, so please let the Online Learning Center help you. I only ask that you don't scream at them. Next on the course menu is schedules. Here is your first one. Be sure to print it out and carry it with you always. Weekly materials. This is where you will spend most of your time. Each week will have its own folder, and just about everything you need for the week can be found inside. Be sure to work through things in order and check them off as you complete them so that you will always know where you are. You can access the week's quiz and discussion from here, or you can reach them through the course menu, whichever is easiest for you. A few notes about the discussion board. You may have read that you can earn bonus points in the Lit Lounge. You can earn them through answering questions and posting helpful, relevant info for your classmates. And you can earn a total of 10 bonus points per month. I also want to show you how to subscribe to a thread or a forum. I subscribe to the Lit Lounge forum so that I know when a new post appears. It's emailed to me. I click subscribe to do that. You can also subscribe to just one thread in a forum, probably yours. That way you will know when someone has posted a response to what you wrote. Click on the thread that you'd like to subscribe to, and in the upper right-hand corner is the subscribe button. Click on.
So that's one of the things that has made a big difference using video, because that's a hard button to find. As you notice, the way that you subscribe to a forum versus a thread is very different. They're in two different places. And so students wouldn't think to look in a different area, and then they just don't do it. So I found that by showing them how to do it, showing them where it is, they don't even necessarily realize that it's in an illogical place. They just follow the directions, and then everything goes swimmingly. So my goal with these videos is just to keep everybody comfortable and confident that they know what they're doing. And by showing them, I think that helps to achieve that. Okay. Another great use for video is introducing content. So I don't do this with every single week. That would be a lot of work. But I try to do it a little bit each semester. So these are videos that I will use semester after semester. So this is from the World Lit 2 course, and it's the Introduction to Modernism, which is something we'll be studying for several weeks. So I made a video that would get the most important things for them to think about in their brains, connects it in with art a little bit, so I'm bringing in a visual component, and this is something that I can use semester after semester. So maybe next semester that I teach this again, I'll do one of these for another unit, and I'll just kind of build them up as I go. I'll just show you a few seconds of this one.
Welcome to a new week. As we read works of modernism over the next 2 weeks, think about how this literary movement developed. How was it a response to a world at war? By the way, I was lucky enough to see La Guernica in Madrid, and I can tell you that it is huge. The scene is almost overwhelming in person. Another thing to consider: how does modernism fit with realism, the major movement that came before it?
Okay, so you can see where that's headed. It's just a general introduction to the topics, the issues, the works, the concepts that we're going to be studying in the next couple of weeks. And then I encourage them to go back after we have read a few works, to go back to this again and watch it before looking at the next set of modernist works to keep these ideas fresh in their minds. So they have access to this all semester long. Every one of the videos that I plan to use more than once is captioned. So I'll actually show you a little bit more of this with captioning on. And I can talk a bit about how I do the captioning as well. so you can see there. Any video that you plan to use more than once should be captioned. And not only is this a requirement, but it's also useful in all sorts of ways. So my students tell me things like they're sitting in bed with their laptop and their spouse is asleep, and that lets them watch a video because they can see the words. Or they're in a noisy place and it's hard to hear. So captioning is just a really good instructional practice. And I found that it's fairly easy to do also. My biggest bit of advice to you about captioning is don't let YouTube do it for you. The sentences that you get are entertaining at best and scandalous at worst, and nothing that you want attached to your video. So what I have found works best for me is if I write up a little transcript of what I'm going to say in this video, and that helps in a couple of ways. It makes it very easy to caption because I just paste it into YouTube, and the thing YouTube does really well is sync the words to the voice. So in fact, I'll play a little bit of this and you can see how well it does that. So this one, I just took my transcript and I put it right into the YouTube captioning area, and it ran through. It just took a couple of minutes, and it aligned the text with my words. Even if they were off a little bit, it still handles it.
Does it further realism's interests and goals?
I'll come back in a
Or
minute.
does it refute them? Here is a key quote from our textbook's introduction to keep in mind. Modernism, how does Kafka, an early modernist, seem to bridge realism and modernism?
It's a pretty good match, right?
Do you see elements?
So that was all YouTube. I just put the words in and it figured out where my mouth was saying those words. The other benefit of doing a transcript is it keeps me focused. So there's a lot less and wandering around in what I'm doing. It keeps me focused and more precise with what I'm saying in my video. So it's really a win-win as far as I'm concerned. Also, one other thing, maybe this is a question someone has. There is a captioning service that you can use. It is 3C Media Solutions, and it's funded by the Chancellor's Office. You can send your videos there, and they will be captioned for you. I hear it's by a live human being who will caption them for you. And it does take a couple of days turnaround. I usually just do mine because at this point it really isn't much of an inconvenience for me to do them. But if you have a longer video, you can send it to them for captioning. Okay, question?
For your first tour, did you use Camtasia?
Yes. Hold that thought. I'm going to talk about those. Absolutely, both, all the above. Yes, there are two different tools that I have used. Some of them you'll see I'm wearing the headphones, and those are Logitech headphones with a USB Logitech, and that works really well for sound. The sound that it produces is very good quality. So I've been using that for, I'd say, the majority of my videos, but my newest toy is a snowball, which looks like a snowball. It's a white, round mic. It sits on a tripod, and it can record your voice not quite as good as the headphones, but without having to wear the headphones. So some of the videos you'll see in here, I don't have the headphones on, and that's what I'm using. So I've been mixing it up and using both.
For modernism, is this PowerPoint, or what voodoo are you doing?
It's a secret. No, these are PowerPoint slides. And as I'll show you a little bit later with some of the tools that you can use, you saw the picture-in-picture down here, right? And so that is something that several different programs use, and I'll tell you which ones do. And you can decide when you want to be in the picture, when you don't. Some of the programs, when you saw me zoom in and out, that's using Camtasia. But you can use Screencast-O-Matic to do the basic screencast plus your picture. So there are several different tools you can use. And you can just start simply, too, and just do a webcam video. I have plenty of those as well. In fact, here's one. A lot of times I just like to do a quick video announcement where I do it in under 5 minutes. And what I want to do here is encourage students or congratulate them on something that they did or remind them of something that's due. Or if something didn't go as I had hoped it would, this gives me a chance to talk about it with them in a much friendlier way than text would. So with these sorts of videos, as you can see, it's just a plain webcam. So all I'm doing with announcements is turning on the webcam, saying what I want to say, and then embedding it right into Blackboard as an announcement. So that's a great way to get started, too. These are very easy to make. Let me show you a little bit of this one so you can see what I'm talking about. So this one I'll show you within one of my courses. This is a writing course, critical thinking and composition. So I pulled it up to the top of the announcements here, but as you can see, it's just embedded right in there. So the same way, if you use Blackboard, the same way that you would do any announcement, you would create an announcement and you have a text box. With Blackboard and with some other LMSs as well, there is a webcam record button. And so instead of typing your text, you turn on the webcam, and it's as easy as that. You record your video. You have to have a YouTube account so that it has somewhere to store it, and then it integrates seamlessly with Blackboard. So you never even have to go to YouTube. As long as you have an account and you can give it access, you record it from Blackboard, it loads right there, and it comes up as an announcement, just like a text announcement would. If we have time at the end, we can do one together. I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so as you can see, they don't have to go anywhere for this. It just plays right in place. And it's emailed to them as well, although a lot of browsers don't let them
Hi
play
everybody.
it.
I know this is a busy time of the semester and the heat has not helped, so I just wanted to give you a virtual high five for all the hard work you've put in so far. You're almost there with your first essay. It is due on Saturday, and let me give you an early congratulations. Remember that this is your chance to apply what you have learned about making inferences and using evidence to support those.
So how else can you give your students a high five? Right? So in an online class, for me, that is a huge victory, that I can do something like that with my students and let them see that I'm happy for them, that I'm excited for them, and also to then remind them of a couple of things that I want them to remember when they're getting their papers ready. So they see it's not just them turning something into cyberspace, but I'm here, I'm on the other side. Here's what I want to remind you about, here's what I want to encourage you to do, and then I'm kind of there with them as they're putting their paper together. Yes, if it's something that's specific to this particular group and nobody in the course needs it or has requested it, then I might do a video announcement that doesn't have captioning. But if it's something that I'm going to use in another semester, then I absolutely caption it. And I've really gotten to the point where I caption just about everything just because it's easy and it's a convenience for the students. About the only thing I don't caption is when I am giving grading feedback to a student, which I'll talk about in just a minute, and that is limited to just that particular student. So if I know that student prefers to have it captioned, I will caption it, and if not, then I will not. But that's one of those one-time uses. Nobody else can see it. It's just me talking to the student. Other than that, I just, by default, caption everything. Because, as I said, even students who don't officially need it, they appreciate it. And it's another way to learn, too. You can see, and you can hear, and you can watch the person speaking. So it's a really great benefit for the students. Yes? In this one, no, I'm just talking to the students. So in this kind of video, I would have to go back and type it out. Although, I've been doing something that works pretty well lately. So I realized, just a few months ago actually, that for a video like this where I'm just talking to the students for a couple of minutes and then I want to go back and caption it, if I play a voice recognition program, so I turn it on and I play the video, it'll capture most of the words for me. And then my job is even easier. Then I have a transcript. Voila. Or even I just used the one that came with my Mac. I have an iMac and it has voice recognition software and it picks it up just fine. You could use your phone. There are all sorts of possibilities. And lots of apps that could do it too. So video has become so much easier to use. And in education, it's such a great tool, but at this point it's become easy enough to be used all the time without taking every waking minute of our lives. So I've been using it a lot. Okay, so to that feedback that I was talking about. So in the last semester, I've started using video to give feedback to my students. As I said, I teach writing courses, and so I read lots of student papers. And this has been one area of online learning that I've never been completely satisfied with. On the one hand, typing lets me leave a lot of comments, more than I would handwriting on a paper in a face-to-face class. But the students don't really get to benefit from talking about their paper with me as an on-ground student would. And so what I've started doing is recording videos for them. Depending on the assignment, sometimes I'll do this at the outline stage, so they'll turn in an outline, and then I'll talk to them about that outline in a video, and I will attach it right to their paper in Blackboard. As you can see down here, it's part of the inline grading that Blackboard has, so they submit their paper. I can leave margin comments, and then I can embed a video. And that's just a webcam video. I just go to the text box where I normally would type comments, I click on the video, and I record a video for them. I don't do 5 takes of it. It's very informal. It's me talking to the student. And so I'll do that at an outline stage for some papers. I'll do it at the final draft stage for others. And I won't do it for every single paper. I don't want to burn myself out or get them too used to it. I try to give them a variety of different feedback, but they really, really like it. So I'll show you some surveys that I've done, but they especially love. They love hearing me talk to them. I'm saying their name. I'm talking about their ideas. It's really validating for them, and it also makes them work really hard on the next paper because they know I'm reading it. I'm thinking about their ideas, and they can see me getting excited about their ideas too. So I found that video is really powerful in grading. Let me just show you a couple of things that I've found work really well. First of all, I keep it short. 1 minute, 2 minutes, that's it. That's already way more than I would if I was typing. It's already way more than they would get. So I try to keep it short, and I also try to have 2 or 3 main points that I want to make. And I've taken to actually holding a paper up to the webcam that has a number 1 or number 2, and the students, they like it because it's goofy, and they're used to me being goofy. But they also like it because they can go back to number 2 later. So when they're getting ready to write their next paper, they can say, what was she telling me about structure in my paper? They can go back and just forward to number 2, and then listen to it. So it's a nice marker for them, and it's a nice marker for me too because it keeps me focused in my comments. It doesn't let me ramble or wander. I remember I have 3 things I'm going to say. There's my number 2, time to get it up there, and I'll say what it is. So it's been a good way to keep it focused for me and for the students. I can do things like the high fives, thumbs up, just little fun things that keep them connected to me as we're going. And then also I found that because it's a webcam, I can hold things up to it. So I can show them a sample outline for the student who needed to be reminded of what a basic structure looks like. I can hold up a sample outline. Or I can hold up a page in a book. So if we're reading a chapter and the student missed something, I can open it up to that page, I can point to it in the book, and it's right there in front of the webcam. So there are a lot of great uses. And if you were teaching something like art history, imagine what you could do. So the webcam has been a great tool to do these videos, and as I said, they're nothing fancy. It's just me talking to the student. I found that it doesn't take me any more time to grade with a video than it would to grade without it. Now, there was a bit of a learning curve to get to that, but after 1 set of papers, that was the speed I was at. Same amount of time it would take me to type out comments to a student. And the great thing is the students get to see me and hear me. They get to hear my tone of voice when I'm talking about things. So if there was a part of the paper that was confusing, it can sound kind of harsh if I try to explain that in text, right? But if they see my puzzled face, if they hear me say, I'm not quite sure what you're trying to say in section 3, they see, oh, well, that's a reader who's genuinely confused. Completely different reaction. And they're more likely to take it to heart and work with it. So I found that it's a really nice tool for grading as long as you keep it short and you let yourself know that it doesn't have to be a perfect video. You're talking to your student. Talk and be done. Don't retake. Yes?
Yeah, I use the audio one and turn it in. But is this through SafeAssign or is it through the assignment option that goes through Blackboard?
It's in Blackboard, it's through the assignment option. At this point, it cannot work with SafeAssign. I learned that the hard way. So don't assign a SafeAssign if you want to try the video. So I'll show you just a little bit of one, but this is not embedded because, well, it would be attached to a student's paper. This is one that I redid with a fake student name.
Hi, Javier. What a great paper this is going to be. You have so many interesting ideas. Let me give you a few suggestions to help you shape those ideas as you move from the outline to a rough draft. Number 1 is your thesis. You have a very focused, specific point.
Okay, so you get a sense of what I'm doing with this, right? So, and I'm sure I'm careful to use the student's name several times also, so they see I'm talking to them, which is a pretty rare opportunity in an online class. So since you're doing one-on-one, you want to make the most of it. Yes?
So I see all these opportunities for you to reach out to them and even be very personal. So I'm wondering how I get them to reach out to me in a
Mm-hmm. I found a couple of things. First, if they see that you genuinely care and are interested and invested, they will reach out and contact you. So I have students send me emails all the time that don't have necessarily anything to do with the course itself. They just want me to know that they got a scholarship, or they want me to know that they did really well in their history essay because of something that we learned in our class. Because they feel comfortable enough, they feel like I've talked to them enough that they can come and talk to me. So that's one way it just kind of happens organically. But also I encourage my students to use video and audio to talk to each other, and then I'm in those conversations as well. And so we get a chance to have asynchronous conversations where we get to hear and see each other throughout the semester also, which helps them support each other and lets me join in to some of those conversations too. I do it through VoiceThread, which I mentioned before, but also on the discussion board, students can leave video comments using their webcam. So anywhere in Blackboard that you can write in text, so any text box, you can also leave video. So that's announcements, that's discussion board, that's content areas. Students don't seem to realize that, but once I tell them that it's there, then that's a possibility for them. I've also had students download audio files and put them in the discussion board too. VoiceThread embeds in Blackboard, so you can embed it into a page and the students can click on it and it goes right there in Blackboard. But that's very small, so most students use it to... No. It's just VoiceThread is designed so that it can be embedded and it will play in Blackboard, but I encourage my students to go to the full VoiceThread site because it's bigger and it's much easier to navigate. But they can do it directly from Blackboard if they choose. Always good. True. So there's your ammunition to beg for a new version. Mm-hmm. This is 9.1, I believe. 12, I think. Is that right? 10? I don't know. I don't know the service pack. I want to say it's at least 12. I don't keep up to date on my service packs. I'm sorry. Okay, so the last video I want to show you is a video explaining the video feedback. Because if you decide to use video feedback, you're going to find that most students have never seen it before, and they're not quite sure what to do or how to access it. So to save yourself a little bit of time, you could make a quick how-to video for your students showing them how to access the feedback and what you want them to do with it. And this is the kind you would caption because you would use it semester after semester. So I have this video where I show them a sample paper. This is the window they would see, and I actually show them, you click on the arrow, on the play arrow, and then it'll play, and I explain to them what I want them to do with the feedback. So this is...
Hi everybody, I am happy to report that your essays are ready for your review. Before you take a look at it though, let me explain how to find your feedback because it is a little different for this essay. It took me a bit of extra time to do it as well, but I am hopeful that the feedback I'm able to provide this way will give you even more help moving into the research paper. So, just like with any other paper, you go to Course Grades, click on it to see your list of grades, and scroll down to
So I have a fake student account that I'm using.
In this case, that is Boyle Essay Final Draft. So it's very important that you click on the name of the assignment so that you can see all of your feedback. If you just click on the rubric, you are missing some important information. So clicking on the name of the document opens up the full screen.
Okay, so I'll pause there. So what I do is I walk them through the kind of margin comments that I leave, and then I show them how to click on the rubric and open it up. Then I show them where the video feedback is in there. With using video for feedback, you have two options. One is to embed it into a rubric, and the other is to put it in the comments area. So you could just leave a comment if you don't use rubrics. If you prefer to use rubrics, there's a space on them through Blackboard anyway. There's a space on them at the bottom where you could put a video. Yes? This one I made through Camtasia. Screencast-O-Matic does let you do the picture-in-picture, but it doesn't let you fade in and fade out. It doesn't let you do cursor things that we were talking about. So yeah, let me move on to there and I can show you your options for making these. Okay, so very quickly how students have responded. As I said, I ask them every semester what they like about the class and how they feel about specific aspects of the class. This is pretty standard. These are 2 different courses here, and you'll notice that for both of them, the question, do you like the use of instructor-created videos in this course? Both of them, 100% of the students said they definitely or somewhat like it. So semester after semester, there's almost no one who dislikes it. It's kind of an interesting split. It's almost always 80, 85 to 20 or 15. It's right around that range. So I would love to explore what is leading to that very consistent breakdown, but that is what students tell me. And a couple of the comments, I won't read through all these, but these are some representative comments, the kinds of things my students are telling me. It feels like you are in an on-campus class from the comfort of your own home. Students will say things like, it feels like a real class. It is reassuring to know what your professor looks like. Such a simple thing, but think about that from a student point of view. They see who you are. Some of them say, it's nice to know you're not a computer. Some of them tell me that it personalizes the class more for them. It helps them see what needs to be done before doing it themselves. You bring a face to a name and we feel more connected to you. That was exactly how I felt as a student taking online classes. I felt more connected to the people who use video, so it was nice to see that on the other side too. All right, so here are some tips for creating your videos. Number 1, as you can see in mine, show your personality and exaggerate it. So if I'm going to be goofy, I'm going to be really goofy. If I'm going to be excited, I'm going to be really excited, because students latch onto that and then they feel like they have an idea of who you are. So whoever you are, make that clear to the students. Let them see how much you love your subject matter. Let them hear the enthusiasm in your voice. Simplify the setting. If you're doing a basic webcam video, notice I don't have a lot of stuff in the background. Okay? If I had a shopping bag or a backpack in the background, what happens after 30 or 40 seconds of the video? Wonder what's in the bag. Huh. Where's that bag from? Oh, does she shop there? So try to reduce any background distractions so that the focus stays on you. Aim for real instead of perfect. It took me a while to learn this one. The first few videos I did, like this one from my website, I did take after take after take. In fact, for this particular video, I spent most of the day making it. And while I was making it, my daughter was listening to me. So at the end of I think my last take of this video, she wanted to try it out too. And I decided to put that in the video. So I have a little blooper reel that I added at the end of this video because I realized, okay, they see the most perfect version of this video. But that's not what I want to teach my students. I teach writing. I want them to see that it's not perfect at the beginning. You work toward it. So I wanted them to see that I had a lot of outtakes. I had a lot of mistakes. I did this several times because it mattered to me, and I was happy with what I was done with at the end, but it wasn't the first try. So I'll show you just a little bit of this. Let's see here. I think I have this over here. Oh. Okay.
ccd.edu. I look forward to seeing you in one of my online classes soon. You can use the menu on the left. Have a look around.
My dog frequently stars in my videos.
Hi, I'm Tracy Schaelen, and I teach writing and literature courses at Southwestern College. I designed this website to help my online students get more familiar with online learning and with my courses. If you want to learn more about my approach and teaching and specific courses, you're not doing anything.
That was great.
So why not let students see that, right? So they see that, they see I'm just a human like them, and they instantly feel comfortable with me, right? So let them see the whole thing. And that also freed me up from having to be perfect and taking my entire day making a video. So I will not do that again. I will not take the entire day. But if something funny happens, I'm going to leave it in. Or maybe I'll even intentionally do it, like the going to left, the right thing. I didn't actually do that. I just took that part of the video and I flipped it around because I thought that would make a great little blooper to show them. So just have fun with your videos. Play around with them. There's a lot you can do that students really, really appreciate. Okay, so some of you are asking about the backgrounds, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about the backgrounds, which leads into the tools that you can use. So these two videos were made using a green screen and Camtasia for Mac. Camtasia for Mac is available for educators for $75, which is an amazing deal. Yeah. So it's only for Mac, though. The Camtasia for PCs, which is Studio, Camtasia Studio, I believe may have an educator discount. I'm not sure, but it's not this deep. $179. Still not bad. Camtasia for Mac does the green screen really well. So I knew nothing about this. I just watched a little how-to video on Camtasia's website, saw how they did it, and played around with it. And then it ended up being much easier than I thought it would be. So I grabbed a green sheet from my daughter's bed. I taped it up to a wall. I turned my desk lamp so I had good lighting, and there I was. So each one of these has that bed sheet behind me. And then I went into Camtasia after I finished recording it, and I took out the green color. You just click a button, remove green, boop. It's gone, and then I put in whatever I want. So it could be a slide from a PowerPoint. It could even be a moving PowerPoint. So I have one where I go through a PowerPoint. The background changes as I'm standing in front of it. It could be a picture. There are lots of possibilities for what you could do. So it's really fun to play around with, and it was much easier than I thought it was. But this is not what I did first. So start with some of the easier methods, and then this is what you can work your way up to. As I said, I've only been doing this for a year. For the first semester, I was doing these during that semester. So it was just a few months' time from my first video ever to doing these Camtasia videos. So I was surprised at how easy it was to go through that learning curve. Yes? It's to purchase the program. And I have done several, they have given me several free updates to the most current version of that program at no cost. Okay, so here are your 4 options for how to get started with video. The first and most simple one, if you're using Blackboard, is to do what I was talking to you about before. Go to any text box where you would type in information, and see this little circle with the red dot? That's the webcam button. You click on the webcam button, and it asks you to connect to your YouTube account, and then you just film, and it goes to your YouTube account. You click on Unlisted. Don't make it public, or else everybody who is on YouTube can see it. Unlisted lets it be available only to people who have a link. And so you embed it in Blackboard, and only people who are in Blackboard can follow that link to your YouTube site to see it. So it's safe, it's secure, especially important for things like student feedback. You don't want that to be public. The other thing you can do is go directly to YouTube itself. So if you're using an LMS that does not have this capability, you can go right to YouTube. You need a YouTube account, and in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the upload button. You click on that, and the first choice you have is webcam capture. You click on record, and your webcam turns on, and it records the video for you. And again, you have the choice there to make it unlisted. You have the choice to put in the captions and so on. Then Screencast-O-Matic is another one. This is free for the basic version. It's $15 for the pro version. This is a really user-friendly, simple program to do screencasting. So screencasting is when you record what is on your screen for your students. So they see every click that you make. They see where you navigate. So a lot of mine use screencasting, and this is a really easy way to do it. It also allows you to do the picture-in-picture if you choose. You can turn that feature off if you'd like. You can't go in and out, though. You have to choose for the video one or the other, unless it's changed since I was there last. It is always changing. But Screencast-O-Matic is a really easy way to get started with screencasting. I found it a little bit limiting after doing several videos because I wanted to do different things with myself in the video. I wanted to not just be in the corner. I wanted to move around. And so that's how I found Camtasia, which is the one I use most of the time now. So here's what Camtasia looks like. This is one of the slides that you saw in one of my videos. I can do things like add, it's kind of hard to see here, but I can add arrows, I can add animations, I can add different views of my cursor. So when I click on something, that arrow can come up, it can do the ripple, it can have a circle, I can draw things, and then I can fade in and out. My picture can fade in and out of the video at will too. So, and you can do transitions as well from one thing to another. So some of them you saw I kind of flew in from the side or from the top. That was all through Camtasia. So this one definitely has the most bells and whistles, and you could just work your way up to this one if you choose. But really, your students don't care where you start. They just want you to start because they love to be able to see their instructor and feel like there's somebody living in that class shell. And so that's my biggest takeaway from using video is just to be there with my students. It doesn't matter so much which tool I use. It just matters that I'm genuinely there with them. And so I hope that that's given you a couple of ideas for you to use video in your classes. So if there are any other questions, I'm happy to answer them now. Thank you. Oh, and there was something I was going to show you if we had time afterward. Well, I don't know about the time part. Well, done? 5? We have 5? Okay. Are there any of those processes that you want me to show you up here on the big screen? Things like, I think someone in Blackboard was wondering how to do this, what it looks like, or the YouTube. Is there anything that you want me to go out to and show you? Okay, how to do captions? No, it doesn't. What you do is you take a little swatch of it, and then it takes out that color. So green is the most common color they use, but as long as it's not on anything else on you. So if you're wearing green, don't do green, because you'll disappear. It has to be a color you don't have. Okay, so if you're in YouTube, so this is just one of my videos. If you're in YouTube, there are several different things that you can do up here. You'll see there are enhancements. You can do your settings. The subtitles over here. Oops, that's not where I want to be. You can go to advanced settings over here, and you can choose what kind of captioning level you have. So if you're going to do captioning, you want to go over here to set up your captioning. And then, go back. I think the easiest way to get in there is from this menu. So you see your thumbnail, you click on subtitles and close captioning. And then right over here, mine already is captioned, but right over here, you will see on this side, you will see your choice of putting in a transcript or of letting YouTube do it, which, by the way, YouTube will caption automatically. So if you do nothing, YouTube is going to caption your video, and it will be comical and embarrassing. So it will do it automatically, which is why if it's something that you're going to keep, you want to get in there first. So you'll see a box that's over there that will give you, let's see if I can get it to come up here. Okay, so see the automatic subtitles are there, and what you want to do is add subtitles. And you can upload a file, but I usually just paste it in. So right here is where you paste it in. And then when you're done pasting it in, then you just click return or set timings, and it just goes. And then you can review it when it's done. It'll let you know. It takes a couple minutes. It'll let you know when it's done, and then you can play it. And if there's, usually what happens with me is I added a couple of words. I went off the transcript. So I go back in there, and I add those words in, and then I resync it. And so it's very easy to make changes to it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Voice recognition. Mm-hmm. it records what it hears, and so if I have my speakers turned up and I'm playing my video, it's pretty good about getting my words. It's not perfect, but it's much faster.
Do you have to train it?
I didn't have to do much training. No, it was pretty smart out of the box. Yeah. 1 minute? Okay. All right, 1 minute. We have one more question if anyone has one. Yes?
So is there a way to combine screencasting and video being yourself? I saw that picture within a picture, but can you do both?
With Camtasia, you can do anything you want. So the Intro to Modernism one that I did, you saw that sometimes it was full screen me, and then sometimes it was full screen PowerPoint slide, and then sometimes it was me and the PowerPoint slide. You can move things around however you want. You can do that with the picture, you could do that with the audio, you can do it with special effects that you want to add in. So you can control all of those aspects with Camtasia. I know, it's amazing, isn't it? And it's a very good quality product. Yes?
I was just going to say I accidentally bought through the Foundation's website the upgrade for the PC because it was $89, and I didn't have Camtasia prior to, and it installed just fine. At $89 instead of $179. So I don't know why there was a difference, but I did it in errors. And I'm also getting the free updates.
Excellent. All right, well, thank you so much, everybody. It was fun.